What's good, Travis? It is my pleasure to have you over here for this little interview. Um,
Right?
Honestly, I was thinking about it. Like, I've met a lot of people who know who you are over the course of my time in this city. Everybody has consistently said you are one of the most real and legitimate dudes. So that was like my foreknowledge coming into everything that is coming in. Like, nothing ever bad said about you, but like straight up, you
Oh, I've
are.
heard some bad shit.
But no, like as a rapper, as an MC, as like significance,
uh,
like a lot of people
uh,
said some good stuff. Like you're a player as far as like the long term game goes. But you know what really caught my eye? It isn't even your music. At some point or another, we ended up as Facebook friends. And your Facebook posts in general are some of the most highly entertaining things that I will come across throughout my day on my feed. Like you and that
yeah.
Mercury attitude are two of the funniest and
Shout out
entertainingest
Cali.
pages Facebook. So
Yeah, respect.
I just thought that was
That's
worth
fun.
shutting up. And then the No Damn Good, like I'm NDG, that's just kind of where I'm from. So you see the No Damn Good kind of everywhere, and I'm like, well, all right, respect. That's like the neighborhood. And then I bump the tunes, and I just
Right.
gotta tell y'all watching this, especially those of you, because this is gonna be on YouTube later. For the YouTube people checking it, down in the comments, you're gonna see links to the man's music. You absolutely have to check it out. The guy's technique, flow, all that good stuff. So I just had to go ahead and just say it right now. Come in and you need to check out his music. Yo, he's got this new song. I'm just gonna promo it here. The Smile track. I
Right.
He posted it was like 100K spins on Spotify. I mean, you can see it there. It's 106 and change right now, which is fucking crazy. But I got it because you play the song and it just gets stuck in your head. And the Justine girl, her fucking voice is just magical. And Travis comes through with the smoothest shit ever. You know what I learned? I learned Travis is down with OPP. That's what I learned.
Oh, for
Travis
sure.
is down with a little bit of OPP. Anyhow, that song is just fire. So I wanted to congratulate that on you because I think it might be the first time I've been able to talk to a person and say, "Congrats on breaking 100K in Montreal." That's ridiculous. So how does that feel, just in
Mad,
general? Like a
mad
point.
respect. Um, I fuck with it heavily. I love it. It's shout out Don Dada, obviously. Um, Sauce. Um, that's it's part of Dada's album, Drop Gods 3. And it's not the only record to hit 100K on there. It was actually the
Yes.
third single. It was actually the third single to hit 100K. And then I think now, since then, I mean, sales hit 100K too. And after that, I think there's another one too. So like, it's like it was the third record out there. But for me, as far as my music goes, like I mean, I've had exposure before for sure, but on Spotify, the highest record that I had before that was probably like a 5K, you know. So yeah, it's definitely dope to see my work get exposure and to have those numbers. I'm happy the whole
That's
project's
really
doing
cool.
that for real. Because I got a whole album coming with Don Dada.
Yeah, that's
So
fresh.
definitely gonna
Um,
be fire.
I'll be honest, I didn't hear the rest of the project. I could is Don Dada, did he make the beats? I'm not 1,000% sure.
Yeah,
Like,
he made every beat on the album and
mm,
um produced the whole thing too. Um,
fair. Well, y'all
yeah.
just that one was a smash. I just gotta say.
I mean,
Um,
that was the like the last record I expected. At first, like when we were doing his album, I did another record um called Breathe. There was like all the music that I had with him is so diverse. It's like my album with him sounds not one of the records sounds the same. And besides
mm,
besides that, like none of it sounds like any other music that I ever made before or I'm making now. So that's what's dope about the Data Project. But anyways, at the time I had made a record called Breathe. That was supposed to be for that. And manager was like, nah. He's like, Smile's the one. And like I really wasn't fucking with Smile at the time. Like it's a record that I started writing. Like I really loved the beat. The beat was what attracted me to that. I really loved it. And I was like, wasn't sure about like, I wrote that hook and I was like, I tried to do the hook and it just wasn't working. It was all fucking it was no. And I'm like, yo, Justine, come do this hook real quick. And she did it and it was like, wow, it's a whole different thing. And then like I threw that little 8 bars in or whatever it is, and she did her thing And at the end of the day, when the record got mastered, I was like, wow, this is a whole different thing. And then I seen the numbers and shit, you know, they speak for themselves, you know, and it's only gonna get higher and higher. So shout out to everybody that's listening. Obviously they're playing the record. The record's getting saves. It's bringing attention to my name, to my page, and to everybody else. So it's dope. It's really dope. It's like that's why I've been working. Like you work for this all day, every day to get those numbers and bigger. Feel me?
That's fresh. So, I mean, I do want to get back into your past a little bit because, I mean, you got a whole story. But I know that once we get down that rabbit hole, it's going to just dominate. So I just wanted to touch on, while, you know, it's a little bit, you know, in the beginning part. What's coming next for you? Because I see you doing a whole bunch of moves. I know you sent me a couple of things by email. You got this next project coming out. So why don't you let the people know, like, what kind of work is happening over here in Montreal?
In Montreal in general, you
Well,
know
I meant
what?
for you. I'm
Yeah,
using you as a
for
representative of
me.
like Montreal.
Okay, well, yo, you know, like as far as I go personally, right now, I got an album that I've been working on for a year. Like I said with Don Dada, that's not finished. It's almost done. It's almost there. Just a few more records left to record. That's gonna be the Travis Bryant self-titled, basically what I consider the debut of Travis Bryant as a full project because I
Okay.
have other stuff, but the album never came out, and it leaded to me making like more of like what's gonna be the Legend in the Making compilation that's coming out, which is like
Yeah.
singles and B-sides from like the last few years that I'm like I don't want to waste those records. So, anyways,
Mhm.
that's already the artwork for that's been out and everything that's coming out. But yeah, the Travis Bryant debut that's like all produced by Don Dada. Hella dope. A lot of that Breathe record ended up on there basically, so that didn't go to waste or nothing like that.
Fresh.
Um, right now, currently, I started recording an EP, completely produced by Brooks. Shout out Brooks. That's already halfway done. Um, like I said, Legend in the Making is coming out. Me and my brother Carleon Brown, we got the Blood Brothers album that's done. That's going into mixing and mastering next. That's an 8-song joint.
So that's like
Um,
4 projects so far slated to come out in the next
yeah,
year or so. Like I don't know,
that
however your timeline is.
between now and February, those are all coming out.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
a
like
crazy
basically
amount of music.
they're all yeah, and that's not like last night I wrote 5 records in one night. This is it's really like you know when people say that you know they want to rap, they want to spit whatever, it's cool, like go ahead do it, but like this morning I asked people like a question like do you see yourself being my age and still doing this shit? Like I really do this shit 24/7 of every single fucking day. Ask anybody you know that knows me or anybody, this is all I do. Like I'm writing records, doing exercises, I'm trying to write pop records, whatever kind of record I can write, I'm gonna write it every day. Like I have these exercises that I do. You know what I mean? Like okay, you got to write it this amount of records in this time. You got to write. You know, I do
No,
shit,
okay. It's like
all kinds of different shit. You know,
it's
it's
almost
like
like you have like an app that tells you these are the things you have to do in order to become a better artist as you go
that's a
along.
good idea,
That's
bro.
fucking
Like yo,
cool.
I should make a fucking app. Like I should make an app about that. You know what I mean? Bong, that's the $1 million idea right there, bro. Hip hop app. We just gave
Nah,
it
for
away
real
too
though.
on IG Live. Shit. So all you
Nah, but
developers out there, I want my cut. And so does my man's
yeah.
right here. You feel me?
So if I'm not mistaken, I heard that you were born at 83, making you now in the second half of the 30s right now is where you're at, just for
Ugh.
some context.
Oh God, you did not have to hit me with that one though. But yeah,
Nah, but
definitely proud of being an '80s baby. A Trey.
it's not meant
You
to
know what
be
I
like
mean?
a disrespect, Davey. This is the first
Not
era
at all. Not
where
at all. I
it's
mean, I got
almost
it
an
tatted right
asset.
across the chest. I got it tatted
Because
right across the chest. Can I live? 1983, right there for a reason. You know, like I'm very proud of being born when I'm born, and like you know, a lot of people. Matter of fact, they tell me like, "Damn, like I did not know you was 37 years old. That's crazy," you know. And other people have reacted to it like, "Oh shit, you're 37 and you can make a record that sounds like this." It's like that's crazy because you didn't
actually,
like you're not like
That's a
neglecting
fucking big
the new
point.
generation or whatever.
I
And
I noticed
that's
that in
really
your
like
music that you are extremely in like the realms of what is currently marketable, like the right kind of effects on your voice, the right kind
that's
of,
just
and I'm like,
yeah,
but you
that's just
bring
one
that
part of it. It's really
flavor
one
of
part of it.
the flow you have is just something that takes experience. Cause yo, your flow is fucking cool. It's not like it's off time, but you almost like cut yourself off all the time
Mad
to
respect.
like
That's
start
crazy
these
that you
like
said that.
little lines and shit. And I'm like listening to this, and then you're mixing that with like the smoothness of like I guess a modern like fucking trap kind of sound. So it's got that smoothness, but when you really break it down into the dude, I was catching all these little intricate things you were doing, and then like you
That's
got
what's
this
up.
like
That's the you got that ear for them
general.
things.
I've been doing album reviews and shit now over this for a while, so I guess I've been looking for it. But I was impressed. Like at a technical level, I was going. So not only is it
Much
making pop,
respect.
because a lot of it is coming off pop, but it has this substance to it in terms of technique. Your rhyming is ridiculous. Like you're the kind of dude that can rhyme a whole
Respect.
sentence, and be like frenemy, enemy, kind of keep that flow going.
Yeah, that's
But
that's definite.
I also noticed the storytelling, right? So I mean,
That's
I just
all.
went by what I could find, right? Because like there
I
wasn't a
really do
whole
a lot
bunch.
of that.
I felt that once upon a time, and this is stuff I extrapolated from your rhymes, so you can always correct it or whatever. But once upon a time, things maybe went a certain way in your life, and you were like done with that era. Now you're at this new era where your daughter, etc., has motivated you. I believe it's a daughter. I could be wrong. Has
Yeah,
motivated you to
you're right.
like flip your whole focus into something absolutely positive and just about being on the grind, representing what you're doing. Then there's some haters and stuff. Now there is one little Facebook beef of yours. I saw that when it played out, so I was like, I suppose that's fair. Yeah, Mr. Travis can say that. I know there's at least one hater that I'm aware of. So fine, there are haters out there. And
Who's
then
that? Who's that?
it's fine. It's nothing. That's a thing that happened once upon a time. It's really not worth bringing up names. It was just more to say,
Ah,
okay,
I
fair
feel
enough.
you.
The dude has like a situation where maybe there are people who are in fact talking dirt on his name while he's trying to, focus on his world. And I just felt like a lot of things. But you know what really impressed me is there's a lot of dudes who like aren't the fucking shit and they just end it there. But you brought up KRS-One in one of your tracks. And I have big respect for that because it showed that
I
you give a shit
did.
about the classics and the greats and the legends. So I was just like, these are all the
I
legitimacy, like
mean,
authenticity. I was really
and it
cool,
was
man.
like it was hella weird. And like honestly, and it's really out of like out of left with that like or out of right or whatever it is for me to say KRS's name just because like for the last like growing up I was a KRS fan like the album KRS One the first Boogie Down Productions album the album I Got Next those for me were the dope as fuck but you know what like KRS One his music is just not my thing anymore. And he's done a few questionable things in the last recent years that like made me look at him like, okay, whatever. I'm like really over it. And um, but for for that record, like the way I was speaking it, you know, what I was talking about on that joint specifically, and how I ended it by saying his name, it just completely made sense. It's because like I'm not out there like pointing fingers at KRS like fucking you're horrible or you're the best or whatever it is but I felt like it was a good name to be able to bring um into top and like just the way the whole I Got Next reference you know what I mean like
It felt
that
like
was his
endearing.
big joint his big album so I was like yo I got next because KRS-One had the line oops I lied I'm number 1 2 3 4 and 5 you know what I mean so it's like that's really where that came from
But
the hey mobs here.
I have a, I have a lot of respect for that, just because, like in general, I find a lot of people kind of forgot the past. So whenever I see somebody shout it out, it's real cool. But yo, let's go into a bit of your story, because, like I said, you've been around for a minute. Travis Bryant is like your current rendition. Listen, before we went live on this call, he was giving me like I swear it was a good few minutes just on the names. So I think it would be real interesting to kind of walk through the different names you've had and like maybe how you ended up at getting to Travis Bryant. But before we get to that, you're from Montreal, right?
Yeah,
Or
born,
so
raised, lived a bunch of different places, you know, in the States, um, through Canada a bit. Not really like did like, maybe like 5, 6 months out in Van City. But yeah, I'm definitely Montreal born and raised. But big shout out to the Bay Area, Los
mm,
Angeles, Atlanta, Las Vegas, all cities I enjoyed living in before before I came
that's
back here.
pretty cool. That's really interesting.
Definitely.
But just
I had a
I
lot
like
of crazy
Travis.
experiences out there. It was dope. It was dope. Definitely.
Um,
And being as young as I was, like shit was just at that point, it was just 17, 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old me just not giving a fuck, enjoying life like really crazy. Like, imagine being like 17, just like getting off a Greyhound bus, bro, like in the middle of Las Vegas, like, this is mine. Like, that's legit how it was. The stories like from back then are like, wow, fucked
why
up.
did you go? Was it like the
Because
fact that
that's
it was
that's that's what
popular
it was. Like I had
was the
gone.
music?
Yeah, it was well music related. Yeah, basically, I mean, like I had gone there before on tour with a band that I was playing with.
Hold
Um,
up, you were on tour at like 17.
16. Yeah,
Hold up, let's go back. When did you start doing music?
7. I was 7. The first, yeah, I started playing
No
drums when I
shit.
was like 7.
Okay.
So I've been making music my whole life. Like when I say that, I really do this. Like people don't know the extent of like when you know, I decided I was doing this with my life, regardless of how anybody felt about it or how it made me look to people a very long time ago. Like I was probably 14 years old when I said I'm making music for the rest of my life and I don't give a fuck about the outcome. I mean, I do care about the outcome and yeah, the goal is to be successful and whatever, but there's levels to that success and you got to understand which one you're chasing first. And I knew that at a very early age.
That
And
is a
so I
wise
just
as
been
fuck
doing
thing
that
to come to. That's
for
wise as
sure.
fuck, not for real.
Like
Um,
I walked out of 8th grade math class and never went back. I walked
which high
out in
school
the
did you
middle
go
of the
to?
class. I went to RHS up by
Okay.
closer to Laval, and I was there for like 1, 2 years, and like legit, like halfway. It wasn't even fucking November, and I just got up and walked out of class and just like never went back. And I was like, I'm gonna play drums. I'm gonna fucking do whatever. And
So
then
you were in a
like
band first?
I was in a lot of bands. So I played a lot of kind of music. I played drums in bands. I played guitar in bands. I played fucking bass in bands. I sang in bands. Been rapping for 21 years now. But yeah, like at that point, I was playing in a punk band. Um, and I wasn't even a drummer in that band. I was a guitar player in that band and the singer. And like yeah, we were um doing like I mean, we played with some big ass bands, and I brought a lot of bands through Montreal too, like famous bands. You know what I mean? Like I was the first person to book that band, the Ataris. I brought them here from
Okay,
California.
that's
Yeah, the
fresh.
first the first the first Canadian tour they ever did, I booked it. Um,
That's ridiculous.
so like
Like,
bands like that and shit, like I knew a lot of people. Like I would fly to LA and I would go meet like fucking Phoenix TX and I would go down to San Diego and go see shows with them and like people like all these fucking dudes that I met like all over the place, all these bands. And so anyways, like I ended up going out there because I wanted to, we went on tour, did a bunch of shows, and I met a lot of people out there. So I just decided I was like, look, I need to be out there. And it's always been like since I was a kid, it was always an obsession with LA, with California culture. The architecture there just drives me insane. Like the smallest shit about LA drives me insane. It's like I love it. It's like it's always been a part of me, so I had to be there. So I just got up, got on the fucking Greyhound bus, and just dipped. And that was that. And I did that several times for years.
that's crazy. Like, that's bold. Like, no plot. Like, you didn't really have the hardest part. You just did the shit people do in the movies. Like, you are the guy from the movie stories, you know, like gets up, runs it out, and then ends up like somehow making it a music and shit. Cause yo, that sounds like straight up the plot to like your shit should turn into like one of those movies. All I'm saying, they should write some shit on
If
that. Cause man, that
that's,
story
I
is
love
way
that.
more boring than that crap. Like, I mean, I feel
Oh,
like it'll end though, but your shit is fire from a young age. That's like you basically by the time you're like 18, you've already done more than most people could hope to
that's
do.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, I really like. I don't know about how big these accomplishments seem to people or whatever, but it's like when you're 15 and you can call Sony Records. Like, I can pull out pieces of paper right now that like are folded and folded and folded, and like you see the cracks in the paper and the ink is so like fucking faded from how much, but like lists of like 100 labels everywhere from Interscope to the smallest label in the world. And I used to have to call these people daily. Like, I did not pay for, I've seen like over 1,000 shows. I have like a box full of like, it's just passes, tour laminates, tickets. All the tickets say $0 on them and shit. I used to get boxes and like boxes and boxes of like CDs and posters and all shit from all the labels every day. And I used to have to talk to these fools every day. Like, you're talking to the fucking A&R of whatever, or the promo guy for North America at fucking whatever label. I used to be doing that all the time. So it was like, yeah, everything about it was about music. I had to find any way, like I was finding any way to be able to get around certain people that I wanted to meet to do this and that and that and that and so on. And it's like, I just did it. I did whatever I had to do to get it.
You know,
And
it's
I did.
interesting. Like, so I'm like at a point where I'm trying to figure out the career thing, right? Like how to go from corporate America boring shit into like, the live off of music, sustainability, whatever. And
Right.
I've come to realize that the biggest thing is networking. Honestly, everyone talks about whatever talent and skill. You're an extremely talented dude. But what I find most
Respect.
fascinating about how the start of your story goes is you're like, listen, it's not about the talent. I got myself down to where I needed to be, and I started meeting all the motherfuckers I needed to meet, and I leveraged those relationships to flip up some shit. So I just think it's super interesting that even within your story, you're unlocking the secrets of how a person is actually supposed to build a career in this game, which is
That's
relationships
dope.
and actually
Like, if
fucking putting in
one
that
hundred
effort.
percent is like they say like success. They say it's who you know that gets you there, and it's like, look, P Diddy had Andre Harrell. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has somebody that
Mm.
put them there. Like, you didn't just show up and was like, okay, I'm a store now. You know what I mean? It's like Biggie had Puffy. You know, Pac had Too Short and Shock G. That was fucking with it. Everybody had somebody. Eminem had Dre. Snoop had Dre. Everybody
And
had
even then,
somebody.
Dre had Easy, etc.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
fascinating.
Exactly. It's like
Uh,
everybody bumped someone onto some next thing. It's like, that's
I
really
like
how
that. I
how
like
it
how
is.
fucking real you are with that. That's fucking wise. So I mean, I guess that means you're coming into adulthood and you're fucking popping around and everything. At what point do you like come back to Montreal and like at what point do things I guess change? Like when does rap take over?
Rap kind of started over there, I would say. Or no,
Okay.
no, 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 not really. Actually, a bit before that. It was like I started officially like fucking with the idea of learning how to rhyme, how to do this, and like started blurting words out of my mouth, trying to make sense of shit. Like, it was like 99. All of that whole process happened in 1999. Like, where I started, you know, brainstorming, and then I would like freestyle to myself and like started copying patterns and learning about flows and like
Mm.
all the words that, okay, like, okay, these are all the words that every single person uses. Okay, then there's terms, then there's expressions, then okay, then, oh, this motherfucker uses a metaphor. Like, learning everything you had to learn about the shit to be able to even consider like opening your mouth with it. And then there's like, I mean, I have maybe 2 years worth of like video camera shit of me just like I would get all the instrumentals. Like I'd go on like LimeWire and shit like that or whatever, and like we would download every fucking beat that came out. So I have like stacks and stacks like this big of like just burnt DVDs and burnt CDs with fucking everybody's instrumentals. And then then we would have these little recording tapes, right? And we would like me and my boy, we used to just like record ourselves, just freestyling and freestyle until like you have no fucking like till your body drops. We'd be up for days on drugs and stuff, but then like, we'd be just doing that. We'd just be rapping and rapping and rapping. So like there's fucking the video camera footage of this shit's fucking hilarious. And it's like that's probably like looking at it, maybe like 2002, around then where I have like any footage of it or whatever, like was around 2002, 2003. That was like, when I have broken up with, like, I had a girl out in Cali too, like eventually, you know what I mean? And like we were pretty serious about our shit, but I ended up getting basically, I don't know if they want to call it deported because it's not really deported, but like they had put a limit on my passport because they saw that I was moving too much. I was always there, and I was like, they have a limit on time you could be somewhere, right? So I would like, I would go, but I'd take off for like 6 to 8 months, and they'd be like, you can't stay here longer than 6 months, and then I'd do it again, and then they're like, you can't stay here longer than 6 months, and then I do it again, but then they put a limit on the passport that can say, okay, you can only stay 3 months. So I had did that, and like I was trying to get shit together to be able to move there with my girl, but it didn't end up happening. So we ended up breaking up, and I came back here. And when I came back here, I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? And so I started, I moved to grimy ass, dirty ass fucking apartment on the east side by we call it by Frontenac. And it was just the beginning of the fucking chaos that has been this hip hop journey. Like that's when I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna just rap now, But up till then, it was like me developing things and like, and mind you, like by 2002, 2003, it wasn't nothing great. Like I remember the first time somebody ever said come to a studio, and like luckily that dude, he was nobody. He just like knew how to like press a button and like record you or make it. Like it wasn't like nothing. But like I remember coming back with those 2 songs, and I'm like, it's so funny, like the shit that I would be saying in those records, like, because you could tell exactly what time period is from. Like my disses reflected other people's disses. You know what I'm saying? It was like, who you siding with? Like, talking about shit that would happen in hip hop, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny, like, oh my God, it's horrible though. It's like, it's really bad. And like, my boy, who was better than me at the time, like, but wasn't, nothing special either. Like, you hear this shit and like, damn, it's a trip to think about. It's really a trip to think about that shit right now. But yeah, that's around between 99 and 2003. That's pretty much what was going on.
So you basically started turning yourself into a rapper, and I appreciate the fact that you put all that time into studying the craft, because it's something that when I 2012 I decided to start rapping, and I was that arrogant little fool that you may have had an issue with in terms of just I started rapping, listen to some hop scene, whatever, and then I started studying culture. And I started understanding shit. So at this point, when you're describing, how you looked at how to rhyme and all the words they're using, I've now done that for a few years at this point, like studied the shit out of this culture. And so I appreciate like the difference of it all. So I think it's cool that another key facet of your story is that you put the time in to study this craft and to like research what it actually takes to build it. Because
for sure, bro. Like I'm 37, and like I just said before, like every day I do my exercises. Like I was talking to like somebody who's been doing this for just as long as me, and he's a boy of mine who's part of 8 Mile. Shout out Chat Game, by the way. And he was like, "Yo, it's crazy." This conversation happened a few weeks ago, and it was like he was just like. He didn't really he's like, damn, you actually do that shit? He's like, man, I wish I had the want or the dedication to do it like that. Like every day I have these exercises. I got to do this shit all day. Like if I'm not doing something regarding this, it's because I don't know. I must have been got shot in the head or something, and I'm laying in a ditch somewhere because like, or else I'm doing this, and it's not many people that understand the fact that I have to do it that much, and that
No,
if I
I mean,
don't do it that much, like, then you're not really doing it. You know, if somebody tells you, "Oh, you're not doing shit," but I'm here and I wrote 6 songs in one day and I did all the shit that I had to do and I had 3 things like what's going on right now going on, or I, settled some shit with a director, whatever the fuck it is. Anything regarding me in the advancement of music. Feel me? Like it has to happen. Or else I'm not doing shit. Like
respect that.
that's how I feel. It
I
really,
mean,
really takes a lot. Like when I say that I did 17 hours a day every day for 21 years, it's because I did. It's like I don't sleep, I don't none of that shit. I don't go fucking, like unless I'm seeing my daughter or like in a studio session or whatever, like doing something. Like I'm not doing anything else. I don't give a shit about anything else. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really
I really
affect me.
respect
That doesn't matter. I have to be doing something regarding this.
I appreciate that passion. What was your first rap name? Like, what was the first name you went under? Was it the Furious one?
Furious, yeah, it's like that's a like nickname that one of my boys gave me when I was like 15 or something like that. He started calling me Furious. So I'm like, yo, when I started rapping, um, I was like, all right, I'm gonna use that name. And it's like obviously it's like yo, Furious Styles, so that was like Furious from Boys in the Hood. It's Lawrence Fishburne character. Um, And yeah, so that was my name for a very long time. I was Furious. I just kind of eventually dropped the styles off of it, and people was just calling me Furious. It just made more sense to me. And like my one of my favorite names growing up was always Trey.
Mm.
Always, for many many different reasons. There was a whole lot of Treys in like music and movies that I was like, damn, that's such a dope name. So I always really loved that name. So like one day, whatever, like I was like, yo, Trey. And then like ended up on like it was my name. That's what it is. I changed my Facebook name to Trey Styles because like it was like yo, they weren't letting me have my name as Furious. Like it was just no matter how I spelt it, no matter how many times I did it, or from 2007 beyond, like they never let me have Furious as my name. So I was like, yo, what's the closest fucking thing to Furious? Oh shit, his son Trey. Bang. Oh shit, Trey. There you go. That's how that came up. Like it was that simple. So like I changed my Facebook name to Trey, and then people, even a fucking producer of mine that I did at the time, I did 3 albums with him. He put out a solo joint with somebody else, and on that joint he put my name as Trey Styles. I was like, yo, did you notice you fucking put my name as Trey Styles? He's like, I ain't even think of that till you just fucking showed me right now. And and it's not like he hasn't done this a million times before. He had a bunch of releases with me on it every time it was Furious. And then that wasn't the first thing. It was like, yo, CY was another one. Like I was doing the show, yo, and he was like, he put Trey Styles. And then it just kept on fucking like snowballing till it was Trey Styles from
Fair.
Furious out of nowhere. And it's not even like I intentionally did that, but like I ran with it. And it's not like I was like some big, huge artist to where, people would be like, what the fuck? I don't even think besides, well, yeah, obviously people did notice, people who were, closer into me or to the scene that I was part of or whatever. Like they noticed it, but like on a bigger scale,
Right.
it didn't really like it wasn't no big deal, you know. Like I did a lot of shit under the Furious name. Like, um, my first interaction with like DPG and the Outlaws and so on and so on, um, Wu Tang affiliates and all that. Like all those credits are under Furious.
I mean, I know I found the tracks that you have on YouTube under Furious, which honestly, the Welcome to Quebec, that
Yeah,
track
that's
blew my fucking mind. I was really impressed. First of all, I didn't realize, like, I know who D Shade is because he does fucking hip hop karaoke, so I met him through that shit. And then I have since learned who the
That's
fuck,
D
like,
Shade now. But yeah, that's D Shade
but
now.
I've learned who the fuck he is, like, in
Okay.
terms of like shades of culture. I've
For
learned it
y'all
because
who
I mean
don't
I
know, you
spoke
better
with,
go check that out.
yo,
You know what I'm
honestly,
saying?
anybody that ever says Montreal anything negative about efforts to go out there, it's like when you see what shades of culture accomplished, or you learn about it, you're like, and
Dude,
now you're
Shades
like,
of Culture went on tour with the fucking Backstreet Boys for 15 dates.
that's
All
fucking
right?
ridiculous. Like,
Shades of
that's
Culture
crazy.
played the fucking Olympic Stadium. All right? You know what I
Dude,
mean?
yeah,
Shades of Culture toured and been everywhere. But
honest.
people don't fucking, I mean, like amongst MCs, amongst people that do this shit and like really know what's good, and like even fans of like a certain age group, obviously, are gonna know who the fuck Shades is
I
and
learned
like how
that
much,
on Facebook. I learned that I
bro,
posted the album, and I saw quite a few of the heads I know knew the album, had listened to it, etc.
right?
Anyway, it was just to say because you
I
did the
got
track
that. I
with
got
D
that
Shade
D
there.
Shade solo joint right here on CD. Feel me? That's that real shit right there. Shout out D Shade.
That's
That's my
fresh.
dude for real. You know what I mean? Like I was. They were. You gotta like. Okay, when I once said right around the time that I was getting um that record, Welcome to Quebec together. Um,
Just because
it's
you had D
like
Shades on the record of the Welcome to
right,
Quebec, that's why it's
right,
relevant and for those watching.
yeah. Like Welcome to Quebec. I was like, yo, Shade, you gotta jump on that, and he did. And it was like to me that was such a huge accomplishment. It still is. Like it's one of the five names that I work with that to me, like even if somebody else was bigger, let's say, as on a worldwide spectrum, like that's one of the five names that I hold like right there on things that I did. Like because to me as a kid, Shades of Culture was my first intro to fucking to Montreal hip hop, maybe even Canada hip hop. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Until I really started, because I would see, yo, I think I was like 12 maybe the first time I met Orion. Um, and yeah, and that's all the DG thing. You know what I mean? Like we used to be at Rainbow Heights on fucking on Maisonneuve, which is now I don't even know what club it is, but it's a little Jamaican joint, you know what I mean, on top of the garage and shit. And it used to be shows out there, and they would have a punk show till like whatever time, and then it would be like a dance hall all fucking night long, and then like you'd have hip hop shows go down there or like mix shows or whatever it was, and like Orion used to live in Beckett. I think he still stays there, anyways. Whatever. I'm not even going to say or do that, but like shit, yeah, like it was like that was how young I met them. More so Orion D Shade I met around the same time, but I didn't really like develop a relationship with him till later on in life. Um,
Right.
to where I could be like, yeah, this is my boy. But like Orion, I've known since I was a kid. Real shit.
Yeah, that
And yeah,
track
they were
is
pretty much my first Montreal hip hop fucking influence. I always looked at them like, damn. So when I did the record with D Shade, I was like, yo, shit. And I showed some people like who used to kick it with me or whatever back then. Like, damn, you got a record with DJ now, bro. Like, yeah, I do. That's crazy. And like, we did a video for it, and it had this whole that record, whatever. Like, maybe it doesn't have fucking 50,000 views on it, but it's still reason why it's one of the records that's still there from the Furious days is because of what it means to me. So it can stay up on the internet, or else I'd have taken it down a long time ago.
that record, at least when I heard it, it was really cool. I mean, I put out a track a day before, with very
Right.
similar intentions,
Okay.
very similar subject matter. So
Right.
to see the timing, I mean, when I caught the date of when that track came out, just for context, it was released the day that Pauline Marois lost an election and ended a pretty bad
It's
era. Like, yo, Quebec was going through
it
some
was
weird ass
crazy.
shit.
It was.
And
It was
one of
really
the
fucked up.
things I've noticed is the Anglo scene in Quebec, at least in my experiences, never fucking talks about our weird political situation. I felt very moved. I put it out a song. And then to see that you did the same thing, I know your shit was tight. Your shit was fucking like, It brought up the fucking native genocides. It brought up a bunch of fucking shit.
Everything. I spoke about everything on there. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it the proper way and show you bitch ass motherfuckers what you're really about and why the fuck you shouldn't be there, you know? And then D Shade's little touch, like D Shade said what I couldn't say verbally at the time, let's say. He said it all. So it's like the record touched base on everything. And like
Yo,
the feedback from everybody was dope. People that probably, you know what I mean, don't even like me as an artist or as a person were like, was happy about that record. They're like, yo, that line that you said, I know for thinking of examples of people, and I'm like, yeah, damn, like, you know, there's people that really didn't like me that really liked that record because of what the fuck we were saying on it, you know, at the time. And we dropped it on election day, right before that crazy motherfucker ran in with the robe with the gun and shit on stage.
I forgot all about that. That did happen.
Yeah, remember? You know what I'm saying?
That
So,
shit's
and it was
wild.
like, and it was the only time I ever voted in my life because I was like, you know what? I can't be the dude who's dropping this fucking record today and making such a big deal about election day, la la la, and all that bullshit, and then not fucking go do that. So I went and
That's
I voted and did it, and then that crazy as I'm doing that and I'm on fucking Facebook like pushing the track, I see that this crazy fuck ran up there and did that. So that shit was, you know what I mean? That shit was funny.
I have a question though that's a bit different than that. Where does Ape Mob come into this? Cause yeah,
8 Mob. Yay.
that
8 Mob. My beginnings with 8 Mob. 8 Mob is a fairly new thing that came from I mean, it's old now, but a fairly new thing that came from an old thing. Like Carleon Brown, I met him, I believe, around 2000. Yeah, it must have been 2005 because I met him right as I started making the first Furious Styles mixtape. Um, 8 Mob is Carleon Brown's team. You know what I mean? That he assembled. It's a conglomerate that he put together. Um, we used to be called Planet of the Apes. From 2005 up till right about the time the album was finished recording. I was like, dude, this whole Planet of the Apes thing, just like it doesn't really roll off the tongue like that. I started making the suggestion. I had said on a record before that, I had said, I'm from, the 8 Mob, you know what I mean? I said that, so I'm like, what about that? Or I said it some way similar to that. So I brought that up and they fucked with it. And I guess somehow in the end, like it I don't remember if that's exactly what, but like something like that. Anyway, so that's where the name came from. Before that, it used to be Planet of the Apes, and that's been Brown's team from a long time. Chad Game, who used to be Dialect the Red Eye Bastard, who been putting it in for a long time. Paranoise, Justice McFly used to be rolling with us. I mean, he's still family and all, but Justice is
I
doing
know,
other
I
things in
know.
life.
So Justice, I know
Just
on a very different
action,
level. So
yeah,
Justice, I worked
boy.
in corporate America with. He was my day
Ex-
job colleague for like a fucking
exactly.
year.
You see what I'm
So I
saying?
know him.
Justice is doing a completely. He's living the good
Yo,
life. Like
Justice, yo, he's killing it. He's traveling everywhere. Anyway, I knew
that's what I
him.
said. I was about to say.
Yeah,
Like every time I see him, like he's in like the other side of the world, tasting some good food, and like he's either there or he's with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying that life.
no,
So it's like I
but
understand why Justice wasn't like he's on the 8 Mob album, but I think he's only on a 1-2 joints.
he's on that
Um,
hashtag Ape Mob track or whatever, the one that you did the video
eight
for.
mode,
I know
eight
that.
mode, right?
I,
Yeah,
because
Justice
I
is
was
on. Yeah,
working
Justice is
with
on that record.
him. That's when I was. That's when I knew him. When he recorded that, I
Okay.
remember like he was telling me about like the experience of shooting that video. That shit went around my office place, and everybody
That
watched
video
that shit.
is fucking hilarious. Like that video was dope. There was so much. It was fun to shoot the chaos. Like I'm not even. I took my verse off that song. I didn't like my
Okay.
verse, so I took my verse off. I was like, whatever. Somebody else can be on it. I'm not too sure who ended up replacing my verse, or if they even did. I don't
Uh,
really remember.
I don't know.
But
I
I,
noticed you were in the video. but not on
I
the
wasn't a
song.
video. We did our album photo shoot the same day that we shot the video, so I was there. I'm in the video. Yo, this is crazy because we shot that video in what is or used to be the fucking 1523 offices. And yeah, it was just fun, yo. It was like, there was like 30 people there. People was getting lit, the action was there, and like, you know, fuck the whole Wale was there, Wale Sparks, and everybody who's in the video you see, but a lot more people were there too. So shit was just, it was funny as fuck. We were causing chaos over there. Like there's scenes where we're bouncing in the elevator and all that shit. That shit was really like, I mean, Carleon Brown alone, this dude is like what, fucking 6'4", 280 pounds and shit, bro. Like, fuck, that will shake your elevator. But then you got fucking 15 of us in there, and like we really shaking that bitch, and it's like, damn, are we gonna go to the stop? Wait a minute, hold up, you know what I mean? Like, just that shit was crazy. And then like there's a scene where you see me, and there's like this like I don't know, like chains or whatever hanging from the ceiling, and I jumped off something on right onto the chains, and then you see me in the video, and I'm just swinging across the room on that shit, like all the way across the room, like kicking, like screaming with my mouth open, looking like a fucking maniac and shit. But yeah, that video was fun to shoot. But I
That's
definitely
cool.
like, yeah, that's the 8 mode.
Yeah, I watched that a couple of times. I watched it back when it dropped because, again, like I knew Justice McFly at the
Right.
time. Yeah, man, yeah, that guy's a testament to what studying does. He like just as a tangent. He basically went home, taught himself search engine optimization, turned himself into a specialist, and I watched his salary fucking spike. Like that
I
dude is
watched,
set.
and you know what I mean? Like, look, when it's crazy because it's funny when we shot the this tells you a lot about life. But when we shot the second video for the 8 Mile album, the If You Gangster video, like you can see at the end of it, you'll go see like the video ends with actual footage, like non-edited footage of like all of 8 Mob like kind of standing around, and it's like 3-4 cop cars, and it's Carleon Brown drunk as fuck, not giving a fuck, like he's about to kill them, and he's laughing at them and like dancing around and shit. And you see this footage, but like at the time when we were shooting the video, and when the cops pulled up, there was this one cop who used to work at the station on Summerlin. Fuck that station, by the way, in DG. And they knew me and Justice by first name. They came up to us like, they knew us. They know Justice from DG. They know me from DG, you know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Because this was insane low, nowhere close to fucking DG. So I'm like, why are you pulling up? He's like, I don't work there anymore. He's like, I work here now. And they came up to me and Justice right away. And I was like, what you guys doing here? And then they go, we were trying to like you see Justice in the footage, you're like, stop. And he's like, we're not even making moves, like trying to like, but we're just trying to calm Brown down, And yeah, so it just goes to show, like, you can go from that for where the police know you fucking by first name to be working like how Justice is doing now in life, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let
Yeah,
that shit
straight
fool
up.
you. Don't let that shit stop you, you know what I mean? Like, just because dudes was once what people consider criminals or fucking, whatever. I don't want to throw words out there and like pigeonhole people, but like, what people view as not good, to being, successful in the way he is.
Yeah, man, straight
So
up. I have a lot of
that's what's up.
respect for that dude. But yeah, I was just curious because I knew you were involved in a mob. And I don't know. It's one of those names that gets thrown around. People have a lot of respect for it. I know I listened to the
For sure, because
project that I keep on
look who's part of the
Spotify.
conglomerate, man. Look who's part of the conglomerate. It's the best of the best. I put money on 8 Mob over anybody else. You just, me, Chad, Carleon, and Noise versus anybody you have ever met in your entire life, and we will eat your food.
That's
Like a
respect.
Paranoids is ridiculous. Carleon is like, don't even. I'm a master of my craft and everybody else's craft too. So I'll fucking eat you with your own style. And yo, Chad is the boom bap king, bro. So,
That's
you
respect.
know,
Who are the
that's
other people? You had said there was five people that you thought was real cool to like fucking work with, and Disha was one of them. Who are the other
yeah.
four people that you worked with that you think is fucking dope? Because now I'm fucking curious.
Um, okay. This is okay. Doing I mean for a period of like 2 years I was um part of Havoc, the Rhyme son from South Central Cartel label.
That's dope.
So I did a lot of records with him. A lot of records that'll never see the light of day because they're for projects that he'll never release. I got a bunch of B sides, but um, he had there's a joint that we did called Real Motherfuckers with myself, him, and my boy Loke the Smoke from the Bay Area. That was on the label album that we had dropped at the time. We re-released it after we beefed and whatever. Me and Loke re-released the record on one of his albums on our One Hood thing on our One Hood team label, One Hood Entertainment, and so it got finally re-released because at the time my name was Trey Styles when I did that. So we re-released it under Travis Bryant. So you can find that on Spotify. It's called Real Motherfuckers. It's me, Havoc the Rhyme from South Central Cartel, and Loke the Smoke. Um, so that's one of them. One of the people that was like, yo. I mean, when you're talking South Central Cartel, you're talking, founders of gangster rap, basically. There's NWA and there's South Central Cartel. They were the first West Coast group that ever signed to Def Jam. They were handpicked by Russell Simmons. You know what I mean? I'm talking 19 fucking what, 91? As far back as that.
That's
They
fair.
sold like 11 mil on 2 albums, I think, or like a gang of records. And Gatsby Trust, huge. You know.
That's fair.
So as a kid, I was like, damn, these dudes is like that's one of them groups.
I respect
And
that.
so I was like, for him to be like, yo, you dope as fuck, you gonna be part of my team
Mm.
was crazy for me, you know. Before that, I had worked with other
Nah, it's
people
real
on the
fair.
West. My big relationship with the West has always been there for sure. Um, but yeah, that was crazy when he said, yeah, I want you part of the team, and it was like became like I got right away to the top of that roster, like where I became like, you know, there was diss tracks going back and forth with people who was dissing the team, and I was eating everybody and shit, and like really going to it for Have and like this at the time they were trying to get me through the border because I was still dealing with some bullshit as far as legal troubles. They were writing letters trying to get me over everything, and then I ended up beefing with him over some fuck shit that's now squashed. I mean, at least on my part, and it's been years since then anyway. So whatever. It's none of that. But he was definitely the first one that I was like, yo, when that happened, I was like, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy. Like there was the record was out, and like people were like, for those who don't know, it is what it is. But for those who do know, and there are a lot of them, that was really crazy. They really they fucked with it heavy. It was like, yo, you rolling with South Central Cartel? I'm like, yeah, bro. And even before I, even before that happened, I had spoken to Prodigy, Big Prodigy from South Central Cartel, um, about doing a record online, and he was down, but it never really happened until I ended up recording this record for Havoc's album. Um, did that, but that was like the first record where we were all three of us were on together. But then it came to the point where I wasn't messing with Have no more, and Prodigy messaged me and he was like, gave me some advice real quick about the situation, and asked me that there were certain things that he'd appreciate me not doing, and you know, I took his advice. We kept our
Right.
relationship cool, and when the time came, I was like, "Look, have Prodigy, I got this record that I think you'd be dope on." And yeah, I sent him the record, and then he sent me the verse back the same night. You know, he sent me
That's
the verse
quick.
back same night, and that record ended up being The Opposite of Suicide. It's on Spotify. Go check it out.
That's
Travis Bryant
fire.
featuring Big Prodigy,
I saw that
South
that is
Central
on your
Cartel.
Spotify.
Yeah, that's
The,
out
the
there.
name actually caught my eye like right before it came on. Like I know I listened to it because I listened to your whole Spotify. I would have to like replay it to remember which one it was. But the name is
Right.
so fucking interesting. Just the opposite of suicide. Like that's a fucking
Yeah,
cool name. That's like a desire to live. I mean,
very
that's what I
much so.
think.
Like at the time, you know, I was going through crazy shit in life, like surviving death, like numerous times in a row in a short amount of
Mm,
time. So it was like writing about dying, being dead, and etc. Shit like that, like was, and it's still like a big topic for me. Like I write about it often, you know. But I had really been going through it at the time. But this record, like, um, wasn't really about that. It was
mm.
just more of a metaphor. Like I'm gonna blow their minds. Like if you listen to the hook, I'm talking about. It's like yo, I'm gonna blow their minds. The opposite of suicide. You know what I mean? And
Right, right, right.
so that's really where that came from. And I'm just talking about like perseverance the whole time, and you know metaphors and a lot of name dropping. You know like that's basically what that was. And he, you know, he fucked with it. He sent the verse back, and it's a dope record. So
That's fresh, man.
run those numbers up.
Nah, yeah. So who else did you work with that was like super significant to you?
Um, Bad Habit from Dog Pound, DPG.
That's
I
fresh.
did two records for his album. The first Dog Habit mixtape was on there. Working with Sans Pression was really cool. That's like pretty much the only like Sans Pression SP
Oh,
from
right, right,
Montreal.
right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know
Uh,
who that guy was until very recently, and now I've learned that that dude was around in like 2003 and shit. So he's a
Bro, that
fucking
dude's
big
been
deal.
around way before 2003. He's one of the like when you say, you know, like the pioneers of this Montreal shit. Like he's one of the dudes.
Mm.
He's like
Yo, just
probably
I don't mean to cut you off. The live is gonna clip in about 25 seconds. So what I'll
okay.
do is I'll start a new live and then just jump back on that one.
Okay.
But I'm glad that Travis is back with us.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like it looks we good. All right. So we'll keep it running. When the people on YouTube watch, it'll be a seamless experience as though we never even cut it or whatever. So yeah, you can keep running with what you were saying. You were describing. I think you had gone from you were describing the opposite of suicide track. I don't remember exactly what happened at the end of that, and then yeah,
Uh
we were going through people you felt was significant to work
yeah.
with.
I'm talking about yeah, Bad Habit. Bad Habit from Dog
Right.
Pound. I did his Dog Habit mixtape. I had two joints on there. Which started building. That was like one of the first things that started building up like a relationship with a lot of like West Coast California artists, down south artists. Um, you know, that I still fuck with today. Like that's how I eventually ended up politicking with Loke the Smoke,
Okay.
who runs Wise Guys Global. Um, he was part of he was signed to Dog Habit. Like he was signed to Dog Habit, and I at the time Bad Habit was trying to sign me too. He was signing up anything that sounded dope. He was signing it.
Mm.
Like, you know, like, but the deal that he had offered me wasn't really something that I was interested in, even though it would have meant that I'd eventually got, I think he was mentioning like a Nate Dogg record at the time. Um, that there was part of the whole thing. It still wasn't like in the end, it wasn't something that I was like really interested in doing. But Loke and his partner from the crew Bad Blood, By the way, free Penn State. Homies locked up. So free my dude. They ended up signing with Dog Habit at the time. So that was like, yeah, a grip of relationships. That's where, me ended up speaking to Prodigy and Havoc and all that and so on and so on. So like when he had left Dog Habit, when they got out their contract, he started up Wise Guys. He started up the Wise Guys movement.
Right.
And after all that whole beef that I had with Havoc when I left One Hood, like in Montreal at the time, I had just joined G2G, and so it was kind of like I was part of One Hood and G2G, and obviously 8 Mob, and like me and Brown, we had MBK going at the same time, but like, yeah, I left One Hood, and he asked me, "Yo, you want to be part of Wise Guys?" And at first, like, I wasn't really sure if that's what I wanted to do so fast. Like after dealing with that whole thing, and a lot of the fans and the crowd and whatever, there's a lot of the same people. The online interaction is a lot of the same people, and I was just, finished dealing with that whole ordeal. Not that it brought, bad attention to me, because it only blew my name the fuck up in a lot of ways that I didn't even know. Like there was people that I didn't know that knew about me. They're like serious fucking people in the music industry, and I was like, really? Like, and I was getting a bunch of different shit happening that was dope because of that. So, and eventually I decided, yo, let's do the Wise Guys thing. So I started putting out records with them, and that's always my people's Wise Guys. Eventually he was like, yo, you want to do your Wise Guys Global Canadian chapter? I was like, yeah. So I just really didn't have the time to fully make Wise Guys Global Canada a thing. Not that it's dead, but it's not really. But every time you see No Damn Good, every time
Right.
you see No Damn Good Music Group, that is also Wise Guys Global Canada.
Interesting.
So
Let's
that's
see.
the way that I decided to do that, because I wanted to push my name and my brand like he was doing at the same time. You know what I mean? But I never wanted to just be like, fuck Wise Guys Global. So officially, the way it really is when you see No Damn Good Music Group, that's also a Wise Guys Global Canada release
Okay.
or whatever it is.
I happen to
Um,
really like the No Damn Good name. I mean, I'm heavily biased. There's just something about NDG that I really love.
that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like at all like that's the one neighborhood, that's the one hood that I've ever felt any attachment to in the entire fucking world. Everywhere I've ever lived, I lived a lot of places in Montreal too, but none as long as NDG. And my life, like really, my life in DG was like a lot of people know me because of DG. Um,
Mm.
like I really lived when I was there. Like a lot of shit happened, and then my kid was born there too, and then the whole like everything. Like there's just I have a huge attachment to fucking NDG. It's just that's the only hood that I have up here, you know. So
I
yeah, the
mean,
No Damn Good thing was necessary.
I've kind of see NDG is a lot more influential to at least the Anglo side of Montreal hip hop than I had any idea. Like, I mean, I was here. I've
One
lived
hundred percent.
like at least
That's
half
the
my
home
life
base, bro.
here. And then coming to learn that like you come from like the place that matters, I'm not gonna lie, like listening because you had to track No Damn Good. That's on the
That but
Spotify.
that's where the whole idea from the label came from. For the I don't like to call it a label because whatever, I'm not like officially signing people and things like that. I do work with people. I will get your release out if if I fuck with you. But that's where that whole thing came from, was really like I had OGK had sent me a beat or a beat package or whatever, and I started writing a verse. Which, matter of fact, originally the verse, the beginning of what you hear on the No Damn Good verse was actually a verse that I was writing for Loke the Smoke for
No.
just about your hood track type shit, right? But I was like, look, I don't know. He ended up dropping the record because it was taking me long to, get it back to him or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool, yo. You know what? And then I ended up writing the verse and was like, look, I got this beat. I was fucking with it. I'm like, let me go get. Originally, D-Shay was supposed to be on that too. Jungle was
Mm.
always supposed to be on it, but there was a two. I don't remember who the other dude was, but yeah, D-Shay was supposed to be on the record, and it's just like it didn't end up working out in the end, obviously.
The other guy on
But
it
yeah,
is Young Soul.
Young Soul,
Young
yeah.
Soul.
Well, I think he changed his name. I think he changed his name now, but he might have changed his name to Avery Soul, I believe. But yeah,
Oh,
Young Soul, definitely. That dude can sing his fucking ass off. That boy got talent. Believe that.
that's fair.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? Instead of going the other direction and going to get a next like DG, vet or like anybody else from the hood to come jump on the joint, I'm like, yo, let's put a little bit of let me put a little bit of flavor on there. I wasn't even there when Soul did his he went to my studio, he went out to G2G and recorded there, but I was at work.
Mm.
And then I got a call like, yo, the shit's done. You know what I mean? Lex called me and he's like, yo, that boy killed it. I heard the record and I was like, oh that's it. That's the touch. That's the touch we needed, right? So yeah, Young Soul ended up on the record, ended up putting that bring you to my hometown flavor to it. Um and yo, Jungle the OG like me, you know what I mean? But like Jungle's that OG. He's that dude, People know about Jungle, people know about Block Mode and stuff. So it's like the combination of
I don't know
people on
what
that
Block
record.
Mode is.
Block Mode, yeah, that's Widget, Jungle,
I know Widget.
all
I
those
met
other
Widget.
homies.
I met
Widget,
Widget
Widget,
through
Widget is Jungle's
school.
brother, yeah. Widget
Okay,
is Jungle's
okay.
younger brother. Yeah,
Okay, I
definitely
might
like
know who Jungle is. I may have met the dude at some point or another. I'm pretty sure I met Widget along the way. These are names I recognize. Okay, that's cool. That's cool to be able to like place them.
yeah, like Widget, these guys, dudes is everywhere. These guys been around just as long as me and anybody I've been talking about. Like they've been around doing this for a long time. You know what I mean? They're both very well respected, but like Widget's respected like um lyrically, and he can freestyle his ass off. And Jungle just spits and spits and spits and spits. Like Jungle's like me,
Mm,
only minus the studying the shit. He don't got the time for all the fucking sciencey fucking make hip hop like science in your head shit. You know what I mean? Like he just goes. But he
that's
he
good.
has just as much like I would say hunger for it maybe as me. Like he's one of them dudes who like he really lives hip hop. Like he fucking to the fullest. You know what I mean?
I know
That's my dude. Shout out to him.
I seen Widget one time because I hosted a show that Widget performed at. Like I had this flyer on my door right over there, and I checked it. And I'm like, yo,
Okay,
Widget's name is literally right there next to my face on this fucking flyer. So I know
that's
I saw
funny.
the dude once. I remembered him. I remembered his like set. He was one of the more talented ones.
Oh,
Sometimes,
definitely talented. Definitely
sometimes they
talented.
don't
That boy
always
can
like.
that boy can play basketball too, yo. That boy put that Allen Iverson on you and shit, bro. Yeah, he crazy with the best. That whole family's talented. Their younger sister is is the top fucking Canadian basketball player in Canada. She played for Team Canada, Nara Fields. Yeah, yeah. Word up. Like she's the best basketball player in Canada. I believe she's going to UCLA now, or she got signed by UCLA. She playing ball out there. But that whole family is fucking ridiculously talented. Like all them boys can spit, and if they're not spitting, they playing a fucking basketball or football, and they killing it on a different like they're like 7 or 8 kids or whatever, I think, and every fucking one of them is ridiculously talented. So they all doing their thing, man. Shout out to that family. You know what I mean? Like Jungle, that's a dude that like he he had my back through some really shitty times, and like he never snapped on me, and like you know didn't treat me like family. He had me up in his house, staying there for when I was really down and shit. So like, yo, Jungle's that like he gangsta as fuck, but when he your peoples, he your peoples. You feel me? Like
Right.
he show you love. You know, that's how he look out for you. You know, type thing. But he's
That's
gonna
what's
G
up.
check you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. He'll get you. Yo, he will G check your ass. He ain't no punk. No way. Believe that.
Fair enough. I don't know, man. This has been a real interesting conversation. I feel like we could go on for a lot longer. I would
Do it.
definitely love to bring you like just have another a follow up chat to this in the future.
Okay.
But I wanted to
Yeah, I'm
know
down with that.
in the moment there was anything else you wanted to touch on before we like wrapped up today. Like if you had anything else you wanted to just share with the peoples.
Um. Yeah. Well, let's shout out the info right quick. You know what I mean? Like, go check. Hit my Facebook, Travis Bryant Music, IG most importantly. You know what I mean? Hit the Twitter if you on there, Travis Bryant 514.
All the
Um,
documents will be in the Facebook and YouTube video down below, so make sure you check that out.
YouTube, look, YouTube. I haven't really. There's no Travis.
But
I mean, there's
I meant
very
saying
little.
there are going to be
Oh,
people
you're
on
gonna
the
put it. Oh,
YouTube
they're gonna put
video
it in the.
watching,
Okay.
so I'm
Oh,
dropping
that's
it
what's
there.
up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
But I'm
So
going to link
yeah.
your
No
Spotify and
damn good
shit too.
music group. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Spotify, check me out on Spotify. That's definitely the big one right now. Hit the Spotify, follow the IG. I got a lot of music coming. I mean, a lot of music coming.
Oh,
Legend in the Making is
one
coming.
question: do you
Um,
plan
if I
on
can,
performing throughout
sorry,
COVID?
what?
Are you planning on doing performing throughout this COVID times?
I I've had a few opportunities. Like we were supposed to do the Chad Game birthday bash at I don't remember. I don't even remember what the club, but like we had to cancel the 1-2 things, but I'm really not concerned with or worried about performing. Period. Right now, I've done
Okay.
hundreds and hundreds of shows, and I'm cool with that. Like until I need to go out and do shows, like I'm gonna do promo on this album, or um, or I'm gonna go on tour or whatever, or I know that I need to get out for myself and like just go test material, I'm not gonna be doing shows. So it has
Mhm.
really has nothing. I said to myself last year after a run of shows that I did, um, I said I'm not doing any more shows. It'll be 3 years, but I don't think it's gonna take that long. But it's been a year since, and I've only done about 2 shows throughout that, and I think they were both 8 Mob shows to be honest. Um,
Mhm.
just because I have a lot of things to do, and like really, like I want to get I mean, I have enough material to last me the next fucking 3 years if I don't record ever again. If I don't write another song right now, I can release music for the next 3 years, and I'm talking about at a rate of like 5 singles a fucking month. You know, so
Okay.
it's like, but I'm really, really, really focused on the business aspect of shit right now, um, and the content has to be perfect. Um, the marketing has to be where I want it to be. Um, like this is like this is like business, so it's like you gotta make your business the branding, everything like that. That's what I'm really focused on right now. It's like the name, everywhere you go, Travis Bryant, no damn good. Travis Bryant, no damn good. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of releases coming out. Like I said, the Legend in the Making's coming out. That's the B-sides and singles compilation. I got my album with Don Dada coming, the subtitled Travis Bryant album. I have the album produced by Godfather Beats, an entire, which is 14 or 15 songs. Um, that we already, that's where Darkness in My Soul comes from. That was supposed to be the first single, which it was the first single, but this album right now is like, I mean, we're having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna just call them technical difficulties without, having to go out there and talk all that bullshit about shit
I
that people don't
appreciate
even fucking understand. You know what I mean?
that.
So yeah, that's what's going on with that. But that album's coming. That album is a fucking masterpiece, top to bottom. Them records you heard are from that album. So you take
Mm.
those 2 records I sent you, Darkness in My Soul, and add another fucking 12 joints, and that's the Godfather Beats album called "Smoking on Rooftops with Teddy Bears."
All I can
Um,
say is the 2 tracks he sent me, they fucking got a swag to them. Really enjoyable, really smooth.
that's
I,
what's up. Mad respect. Mad respect. Mad respect. But yeah, those are from that album. Then I got the Brooks EP that's coming as well. Which this material is like the more that every record just like ends up killing itself. You know what I mean? Like I kill the next one, kill the next one. And then I might have a 1-2 that I thought was like dope as fuck. I'm like, yeah, you know what? They're good, but it's not really the, every record has B-sides, right? Every album has B-sides. You feel me? So it's like, but usually for the most part, like I outdo myself every time. But I'm really learning to like, make different. I'm just like I said, I don't like labels anymore. So there's no label shit going on. So I just want to make music, basically. You know what I mean? I don't want to call it this type of music or that type of music. And because of that, it allows me to like just be as diverse as I want. If I want to sing on this fucking song, I'm singing. If I want to spit like triple time rhymes like Tech Nine, I'm doing that. If I want to fucking use auto tune on this part, I'm gonna use that. If I want to screw a record, I'm gonna screw it. If I want to make a pop record, I'm gonna make a pop record. You know what I mean? So that's
like that.
what I had to tell myself as an artist is like, yo, don't limit yourself. Do what you do. Test your test your test your limits. See where you can go with this shit. And between like Parafino, producer that I worked with, who's worked with fucking everybody, including huge artists in the States. You know what I mean? Between him. Like there was this period of time where I was strictly only working with him. Between him trying to tell me, yo, dude, push your fucking singing voice. You can do it. You know how to sing. You know how to sing. I've heard you. No, I can't do that. I'm arguing all fucking day. I was trashing records. I was like, fuck you, I'm done. Just crumpling the paper. Like it was all, you know what I mean? Like shit like that between him trying to get me to sing and next one of my dudes making records like that and me hearing his records and be like, yo, that shit is dope. I ended up being able to eventually just like building that small little confidence in me that I needed. There was like the difference between, oh man, this shit corny as fuck, and nah, you could do this. This is dope. I got it. So like, once I hit that level, like I was able to just break all fucking walls that were around me and what I wanted to do musically, basically. So like, and all these albums sound different as fuck. They really do. Like, like you heard like some newer shit that has more like effects in the vocals, but the production is huge. Like the production is huge on these records. So like there's that. And then like, but if you hear my album with Dada, it's also, it's ridiculous, dope content, but every song, first of all, there's like no effects on that project at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's just like regular effects, shit like reverb and things like that. Nothing like, there's no auto tune anywhere on these joints, and it's just as fucking fire. You know what I mean? Right. And that's gonna attract another like crowd to my shit. I got a blues record on there. Basically, it's a hip hop beat, but it's a blues record.
That's cool.
And the way he made it, and it's like it's really fucking dope. The record's called Voodoo. That's gonna be out very soon, by the way. And yeah, so everything, all these 4 projects sound really different. I'm really like testing my limits and showing what the fuck is up. Like if people think they can do this, if people think they can like really go with me, well, I want to see what you got like that, because like I really have all the content. Like when I said I'll kill you with your own style, I can do that. It's and that's one of that's like training, is boot camp. Go do it. Everything, like force yourself. And if you can't, well, I believe honestly, like a top artist will be able to do that. Like I was reading a conversation with Crooked Eye on Twitter the other day, and he was saying how important, like somebody asked him like, yo, would you like, you think it's important for rappers to fucking triple time flow and shit like that, and double time rhymes or whatever? And he's like, I think it's, yeah, I think it's part of the toolbox. You know what I mean? It's definitely one of the tools that you could use. So like as far as being diverse goes, yeah, I like testing all the different styles and I blend them very well, you know, because I have enough experience to like be like, okay, this works, that works, that works, and I'm not delusional. I know which one of my records, like, yeah. Like I said with Smile, I was shitting all over Smile, bro. Smile was the fucking devil. I hated Smile, and Smile's on on the major scale. That's my biggest record. Before that, No Damn Good was. You know, No Damn Good had like 6,000 spins on Spotify,
The
and it
Smile
was like
has the replayability though, where
it does. It's different, but like I have
I
watch what you the next joint that's officially coming out. I got the video for one of the tracks that I sent you yesterday, Funeral Arrangements. That video is coming out. It's getting edited on Friday,
mm,
so that'll be. We shot the video in June,
okay.
but I wasn't sure if I wanted to release it first. But I'm editing the video Friday. It's gonna be done. It's been shot in June, but before that coming, I got a joint called hashtag. Well, it's called No Favors, but it's with a hashtag, and that's um, another Don Dada record. This record is one of the best records I ever wrote, and it's really crazy what I'm doing with it because like it's like weekend vibes on the hook. Um,
Okay.
it's like like, but the first verse sound like I don't know. Of course, yeah, the comparison's always there with me and Game and stuff because of the tones of our voices. So like people's like, yo, the first verse sound like Game, bro. Like, yo, a lot of people, whatever. So I guess it's that and that. And then in the second verse, it's like both mixed together. So it's like it's really like it's a big record. And it's right. It's called No Favors. It's coming out next. It's gonna be part of also Don Dada's Drop Gods 3. Not sure if it's the next release or whatever it is, but it's coming up real soon,
I'll definitely
within the
watch for
next
that.
month. And yeah, that's the one for now. And like, yo, there's gonna be singles coming out from the Brooks Project. Few other records with Justine, the Blood Brothers. Look out for that. That's. I'm not sure what the date is, but we're gonna be dropping a single real soon, called God's Calling Me Home. Real
Mhm.
important project for me. That's like since the Eight Mob, since since 2012, me and Brown had a group together called My Brother's Keeper. We just recently had to change our name to Blood Brothers because of whatever. But yeah, that's coming. So that's to be on the lookout for it. So that EP oof, is so very fire.
I
So
put
fire.
I do
So
indeed.
there's a lot of music coming in. Every day I'm making new shit. Every day I'm making new shit. When people's are sleeping, I'm making new shit. When they fucking, I'm making new shit. You cooking spaghettios, I'm making new shit all the time.
100%.
So it's constant, you know.
It's
Always
fresh,
to look
bro.
forward to. Right. So right now it's just videos and releases until the time comes where I get up and I decide that it's time to go on tour with it. Also, we're working on the No Damn Good music group clothing line. That'll be coming to you
Oh,
soon.
fresh.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
And I'm trying to get into the game like you, bro. Trying to get into the fucking podcast game. I was trying to develop something, but it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But I'm trying to get into that too, because like you were saying, I'm quite a personality, right? Basically. So it's like I want to go out there and just do that, and have like that experience that you having where you get to talk to people and like talk to shit and just run game and like whatever. So yeah,
That's
definitely
fresh.
something like that coming very soon.
I mean, I think you could appreciate the value in talking to a bunch of dudes with more experience than you in the game you're trying to win at. So, I
It's
mean,
even
I'm
even
just
if it's
doing
not
it
even
because it's fucking education. I get
definitely because
education
I've
plus
had
the
those
good content.
experiences.
That's it.
Man, you
And
just
so,
look
I
like my
mean,
boy from DG there, right quick. That was crazy. You just moved your head and like the right side of your face was kind of like going off the camera. So you just look like my boy from DG real quick. I don't even know if y'all related. I don't want to ask on camera because whatever, but we'll talk. You know what I mean?
so,
But yeah, I definitely can appreciate that. Like I got a lot of knowledge from him. You know what I mean? And you should too. Like really, like that's what's That's what's being lost in what people call hip hop. I don't even call it hip hop today because that used to make me real mad and angry. And then I woke up and I was like, I like that song and I like that song, you know. But I don't like the words hip hop being thrown around like that. Look, hip hop is real basic to understand. There's 5 elements, and if it don't fall under that, well, then you could eat a dick. So when people get mad and say, Post Malone's not a rapper, like, you sound like a fucking cornball bitch. No, Post Malone is not a rapper. Post Malone is a motherfucking white Rick James Green Day banging motherfucker, and he does it beautifully and has great melodies. That's the type of shit that I had to realize though, because I was getting mad at shit, you know? So yeah, this, you know, you get that from hip hop is knowledge. You're supposed to take them from that. Like, yo, go get it from the teachers who did it before us.
I
Go
read
do
the
it
gospel.
because they definitely got game for you. You know?
It was KRS-One's book that basically flipped up my understanding of what I did wrong for a long time until I
Okay.
started getting on this knowledge quest. Even like this,
He started the temple of hip hop, you know what I mean? KRS got the temple going, you know, so he's got the fucking, this dude is like the boss of all thingies like that. But you know, like, I got the freestyle with Master Ace, who never
that's
even he never judged me and looked at me funny and that, yo. Back then they used to beef, you know what I mean? It was like Juice Crew, you know, Master Ace part of Juice Crew, right? So they had beef and shit. So I got the freestyle with Ace, and like, such a humbling experience, especially at the time, because this was a long time ago, bro. This was a long time ago. This was like 2005 in the park by like, I think it was like Cotonage and shit.
that's
D-Shay
fair.
was there. Yeah, me and Ro G, we got the freestyle with Master Ace, yo, and he was. I mean, I know that he's looking at us like, you little shits can't spit, but I mean, it wasn't like we couldn't spit. It was just like we weren't at the level that we're at
Yeah,
now. You know what I mean? Which is like fucking 20 years of work. So it's like, yo, 20 years of work is 20 years of work. That's how you get it, by doing 20 years of work. But like, you could tell that he was humble enough just to be like, to give us pointers and
that's fresh.
you know, give us a little bit of confidence instead of being a fucking a dick. And he just wasn't at all, bro. Like, so yeah, dudes like that, go study fucking Master Ace and KRS One. Like, I never read KRS's book, but this guy started the hip hop temple, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's
Yeah, 100
definitely a
page
dude
book.
this sorry?
It's an 800-page book. I don't think that
Yeah.
many people are actually gonna get through it. But I
Dude,
mean,
hey,
but it
to
taught
be
me.
honest, I don't do much book reading, but I'll tell you, when I was in jail, like, I read a few of them, you know, like I read parts, because yo, I read the 48 Laws of Power,
Yeah, fuck it.
but
I love that book. That book is a
yeah,
fucking life changer.
that fucking book is crazy. All right, that book is like keys to life. You know what I'm
I
saying? It teaches you a lot of shit. And I was like reading, because yo, it's not a book that you're gonna sit there and read like it's a book that's cool to flip through. Oh, let me go see about that. Let me go see about that. Let me go see about that. So I didn't read the whole thing fully yet, but I've read a lot of it, and I was
I
crazy
read
like how I
it.
already used to apply shit from that to my life, but didn't know that I was already doing it. And then to see like, oh shit, the mistakes that I did make from some of these rules and laws. Like, you know how they break it down, the law, like that, like that this is what it is, like the and it was crazy. Like, yo, the never outshine the master shit, bro. It's like, yo, play dumb fuck all the time. It's beautiful. It's like it's but
Straight up.
never let them shit on your name though. Never let them shit on my name. You're never gonna see
I
nobody say
actually,
fuck Fury or fuck Travis Bryant, and you're not gonna be like, you're not gonna see me do something about it, or you know, like, never let them shit on your name. Remember that. That is very important. You know what I mean?
so I actually,
That book. So that, yeah, I read that, and like a Tupac book and a Jay-Z. I read the Jay-Z Decoded. It was crazy kind of see how he like was breaking down rhymes in certain studio sessions and like facts about this record and that record. So yeah, I did a little bit of reading while I was over there, but I'm not a big huge book reader. I don't know that I could make it through KRS One's book, because
it's
he
like,
bores me in general.
dude, it's like
Like, the
reading the
minute he said,
Bible, but the hip hop.
yo, you know what, dude? I got the Bible and the Quran like right next to my bed, and I don't read either, cause I
Feel
mean,
that.
damn, It's just
It's
like,
not.
yo, it's long and it's some and and it's crazy. But I have read, passages from both, but it's just like, dude, like
It's a
I'm
lot.
busy learning. I'm busy doing a lot of shit, and I commend people who like, who have. And there's people that know those books like fucking front to back, every part of it. You feel me? So it's like, wow, I got some dedication. Like
Yes,
I
sir.
would never. I don't think I'll ever end up reading those books like that. But like, yeah, go 48 Laws of Power. That's a great read. There's a
Uh,
lot of information up in there, man. It's keys to life.
he's possibly my favorite author at this point. I read like five of them
He's
now.
crazy. He
I
got a
read
he got a new
read
book
the
too
one with
coming.
50. He did one with 50 Cent, the
The
50th
50
law,
Laws.
and
Yeah,
it's
the
fucking
50
great.
Laws. I
Um,
haven't seen that. Yo, I gotta get me that. That's the one book I want to get, and I want to get the new RZA book. Um,
mm, I got the old RZA
no,
book.
the Wu Tang book, not the RZA. I think nah, it could be
I
either
got
of. But
no. There's two Wu-Tang books. I got the old
the
one, and then there was a newer one that came out. Like I think I have the
uh,
Tao of Wu, and then there's another Wu one that came out after. But yeah, it's crazy. These are great shits, man. They taught me a lot, like the way
for sure.
mathematics is used in the language and whatnot, or whatever. But 40 Laws of
Yo, it's all
Power,
math.
man. It
It's
changed
all
my whole
math.
opinion.
Yo, Wu Tang is another. Like, yo, Wu Tang. That's crazy. That how technical Wu Tang like as a whole is
Yo,
in
they
every way. It's out of space. Like the dude came with one concept, and then there was all these things about that one concept that like just created all this. And it's like it was like if you was living Wu Tang back when I was living Wu Tang, like when I was a kid, when like 36 Chambers and Forever and Iron Man and Return to the 36 and Tikal and all that shit came out, there was like that was the biggest thing in the world, bro. It was the biggest thing you can. It still is. The Wu Tang Clan logo is as famous, or if not more famous, than the fucking New York Yankees and the Montreal Canadiens and
it's up there.
the fucking symbol of the Statue of Liberty. I will tell you that much. The Wu Tang Clan logo is not to be fucked with. It is known everywhere in the world by people from fucking babies popping out the pussy to fucking old ass ladies. The Wu
It's
Tang
known by
logo.
people who have no idea what the fuck a Wu-Tang Clan is, and they just cop the W because they know the logo. Like it is one of those
100%. But
logos.
you know what? It's that out of control. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you'll be seeing it. Like that's one of those things. Because you know what's fucking hilarious? Yeah, that's so funny you said it like that. Because little peep game. My mom's called me the other night. Pretty late too, and I was like, why you? You know, I thought something was wrong. And then she's like, she was dying of laughter. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And like you could hear, like my daughter was in the background and she was laughing her ass off too. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like the old dude across the street who's like an old family friend, and he's like fucking 75 and like, okay, yeah, he definitely don't look 75 by the way he moved, but he was rocking a Wu-Tang shirt. And she was fucking, and it was like 12:30 or some shit like that. And she was dying. My kid, like, 'cause obviously my daughter knows, you know, the symbol at least. Maybe not about them, but she definitely knows the symbol and she knows the words Wu Tang because of me. She's 11 years old, so they were both dying. Like they were like, he's out there rocking the Wu Tang shirt. So she called me just to tell me that shit. That's how far Wu Tang goes. 75-year-old dudes across the street be rocking that shit, man. That logo is that logo should be one of the elements at this point, bro.
I
Shit.
definitely,
Study the Wu Tang catalog.
you know what? I think there's a big argument that Wu Tang brought fashion as an element into the culture in a deeper sense than prior, like in
They
terms of branding.
100%. They were the first. They were the first shit. The first shit. Wu wear, bro. Wu. If it wasn't for the Wu wear, wouldn't be no Sean John. Wouldn't be no Rocker
It's
wear.
even
Wouldn't be no
like
G Unit clothing. Wouldn't be like there was shit
even
that
like
was
beyond their
hip hop.
branding,
Then the
they
Wu wear,
they
and then
had
like
like a dress code to be in
yo, the
Wu Tang.
Wallabies, the Clarks, how they made Clarks famous. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying they had like a dress code according to RZA where you could only wear these types of shoes and you could only wear these types of
Yeah,
like pants and like
for
that's
sure. They got
fucking
the Timbos, they
getting
got the Clarks, they got oh yo, they made a lot of shit real famous. Like yo, there
mm,
was there was and it's famous because of them. There's like shit like the only fucking reason I know what Clarks are, because or else I'd be looking at people like you fucking dork. But the only person, like the only reason I know why Clarks are, and them shits are fly too. That shit is fly too. Like Clarks are dope. But I would,
mm.
back when I was a kid, I would have looked like that. Like, why you want me to wear these? You know? But then Wu Tang came around and it was like, yo, that looks dope. You know? So like
Mm,
Clarks is a big thing because of Wu Tang. You know?
fresh. Anyhow,
Timberland,
man,
that's a whole New York thing. But like,
I don't mean to cut this short. It is getting up on my like end of I think what I could reasonably do tonight in terms of time for this. So I
yeah,
just
you
wanted to say that it's been like a fucking pleasure to talk to you, dude. You are a wealth of information and knowledge. I really don't think
not
people
respect.
have any idea of how fucking far back you go into it. Like there are, I definitely want to talk to you again. Like there are definitely more things we could dig into and really break out some
Oh,
fucking
for sure.
hours of conversation. Man, I didn't even realize until I talked to you today, I guess how much there is to actually get into as we delve into stories. Because yo, there's a lot we just glossed over. But
Real
I just
quick,
want
you
to say
know?
thank you for talking with me, man. It's a pleasure
Not a
to. I
problem.
feel like
Not a problem,
I
my guy.
learned. So I guess I'll just do my little wrap up thing. So for everybody watching it on Instagram, whatever, you can leave a comment letting us know what's up. For everyone else, hit that like button, share it with some people. Check out the man's music and stuff. Links in the description of the video. And yeah, if you liked it, do your thing, subscribe, follow the channel. Let us know if there's anybody you want to see us to talk to and whatnot. Because I don't know, for me, I want to talk to everybody in Montreal at least. I want to understand the city, everybody who's worth anything, and bring them through and show the world that like
Yeah,
Montreal has people, because that's
that's
something
what's
that I
up.
feel like if you Google Montreal rappers, it's not an organized set of results right now. We gotta fix that
it's
from an internet
it's
perspective
not.
of the city. So that's what I can do to help.
They don't know though. They don't know though.
But we'll fix it. We'll get there. There's ways to build the internet so that Montreal rappers has good fucking results. Anyway, so I also want to just give a quick special thanks to the Patreons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Powder, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Lito Williams, and Scribble, who was in before. And I think you know who Scribble is because he seemed to know who you were from the comment I got. So I thought that was cool. I think I saw he was mutual friends with you on Facebook. Either way, so it's dope.
Okay.
They
What
support
up?
us,
What up?
and I just got respect for that. And then, I like to plug myself. I make music, links in description. Follow
So
me on Spotify, all that good shit. And yeah, so again, thank you for having it, man. We'll keep in touch and whatnot. And I guess this was a great chat. I really enjoyed it. So live
show you
long,
right.
prosper, everyone out there. Take care.
Much love. Thanks for having
Peace.
me, yo. Hold it down, my G.